Hey guys, how's it going? Preparing here. So today I want to talk about what I'm going to do in the 1 week race because I think it's going to be pretty cool, pretty exciting, and I'm sure some of you guys that check out the stream every now and then from time to time perhaps want to know what's going to be going on. So there is a 1 week race coming up. It's starting tomorrow, Saturday at 5 p.m. and we've been planning this maybe for a couple of weeks now, and it was the idea that we'd make a full group of summoners. And there are pretty good summoner builds out there, and I want to introduce you guys into what I am doing, kind of what we're all doing, and some of the ways that the new mechanics, the new gems have affected the summoner builds lately, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. So first of all, there's going to be a lot of zombies, there's going to be a lot of specters, there's going to be a lot of skeletons and all that crap, and what I thought would be really important, because a lot of people will go CI and because a lot of people won't have much flexibility with auras, I thought it'd be very important that one person would get all the really necessary auras for the minions and would have enough radius to allow all the minions to be affected by them. So those auras are Vitality, Purity, Hatred, and Haste. Haste is really important because minions move really slow and they attack really slow. Hatred is really important because typically they're just scaling physical, so added elemental is very, very good, especially as a percentage. And Purity is necessary. A lot of people have Purity, so that's not really that important, but it is important that all the minions have it because the minions have garbage resist. And the last, of course, is Vitality, which is actually probably the most important one, and it is one of these auras, much like some of the ones I mentioned, that no one really wants to get that, especially in like a CI build. The problem with doing all of that is it reserves all of your mana. So the way I've thought the solution to counteract this is to get the reduced mana passives there and the reduced mana passives there. So 20% reduced mana. That will allow me to cast all of those with like a level 13 or 12 or something like that reduced mana. Just not too bad. And eventually I'll be able to drop these when reduced mana hits, I believe 18 or 19. I'll be able to drop this side of the skill tree and do some other stuff. And while I can't show you guys the build because of some technicalities with my capturing software, the build is pretty much going to be starting as Marauder, getting some life regen, getting some armor, going up here, getting minion nodes, life nodes, getting all the radius nodes in the Templar and the Witch and the Center and the Leadership. And it is, of course, a life build. I don't go to Iron Reflex because, don't think it's really that necessary in a summoner group. I'm just going to use pure armor gear. And a few things that are going to make it really interesting. I'm going to get a little bit of spell damage using Elemental Dominion and, all the stuff that I need to get to Lord of the Dead. I don't just want to have the auras, So there's a few things that you can do that really enhances your ability to support the group because you have that much radius. So I want to show you guys Shock Nova with increased area and elemental proliferation. I'm going to be using this, but instead of a 3-link, I'm going to be using a 4-link using not increased area. The reason I'm using increased area is because, as you can tell, I have no area passives whatsoever. I only have Carcass Jack. And this will pretty much mimic the radius size of the Nova that I'll have without increased area of effect. So instead I'll have Blood Magic because I won't have any mana to cast spells. And my 4th link will be Cold Snap, and Cold Snap will work similar to Shock Nova. What I really want to highlight to you guys is that, this build I have absolutely no spell power. Like absolutely none. 0. And my wand, 14 spell damage, So Shock Nova is garbage. But this is merciless, and I want to show you guys what's possible with this ability, and similarly with Cold Snap. Because the minions are so frail, and because, you want to amp their damage, this is a pretty good example. We have Champion Archers in Merciless Fell Shrine. So you can see that they do get shocked, not for a very long period of time, but, if you get a pretty high range on the roll, it does actually last quite a bit. And that is on champions, and this is without spell power, and that's without curses as well. And this character's equilibrium, so I'm forcing lightning resist on the monsters. And some slightly weaker monsters, you can see that I can actually kill them just with Shock Nova. But very clearly the entire pack is suffering from multiple shock stacks. The next thing I want to show you guys is melee splash, multi-strike, faster attacks, raise zombies. In my normal build, I would use, instead of faster attacks, blood magic, again, because I don't have any mana. But the idea is that melee splash, as well as multi-strike, they have increased physical damage. And increased physical damage is much stronger for a minion than it is for a pet, because pets do not have physical damage. They only have minion damage, and they typically don't have very much. So because it is a scaling that, you know, it's all summed up and multiplied as one figure, because you don't have much to sum up, this acts as a minion damage gem. So melee splash for a minion is 45% minion damage, 16 less, and then the splash effect. And multi-strike, 48%, so it's very, very effective. I'm going to use faster attacks in this case because normally I'd have haste aura, normally I'd have more minion nodes. This character doesn't have quite, you know, all of them, and this is, you know, only a level 19 zombie. So I want to show you guys what's possible with that. Yeah, I can summon 7, but let's just get 3, just so you guys can see what's going on. So the idea is that I'll have all these zombies running around. I think I can get up to 7, maybe 8, something like that. That will just, you know, absolutely murder monsters in Felshron. You can see that these zombies are nearly one-shotting the white monsters with a multi-strike hit. Look at that. So the clear speed is pretty phenomenal, given the fact that, you know, this is a zombie gem that's just barely linked. And I'll be augmenting their damage with Shock Nova. And obviously there'll be curses from other players and all that. But you can see, just from the proliferate with Shock, that the, you know, the zombies get hit really, really, really hard. And I don't have a Cold Snap to demonstrate to you guys because I don't have a leveled one, but using Cold Snap I can freeze the more dangerous monsters, and because of the proliferate effect, it will actually proliferate to the rare monsters and to the bosses as well. So we can freeze the bosses, we can shock the bosses, all the minions everywhere have all the necessary auras to stay alive, and yeah, should be a pretty fun thing to do. The other thing is, one thing that, you know, I should mention is minion regen is really important. You can see these minions don't really get any life back from just being there. Life Leech doesn't work too well because sometimes a lot of the minions in the back don't really get the attacks in. So it's important to have that Vitality Order, and it's also important to use a Rejuvenation Totem, and that will also be my task. I'll be using, I think, Rejuvenation Totem with increased area or something like that. As for Spectres, Raise Spectre, increased area of effect. I don't know why Life Leech is there, but I'll be using these monkeys from River Crossings that spam Frenzy, and sorry, they spam Frenzy charges on all the minions, and it does work. So that's also the reason why the faster attacks is there, to kind of mimic the hasted minion effect that would normally be there. So overall, it should be really, really interesting stuff. And you know, if we have some pretty cool highlights, I'll show you guys what that's like, and you guys can come check out the stream at any time to see how the builds will play out from tomorrow on. So if you guys enjoyed it, I'll see you guys tomorrow.